didn't make an announcement. I kind of just wanted to just hop on here because I've been a little moody. So I haven't really felt like going live, but I'm here now. And we're going to be on here for about 2 hours today. So this kind of makes up for not being live on yesterday. Um, I'm trying to get in on my other, yeah, on my other thing so I can see y'all. But yeah, we here, we here. Let me move this a little bit. I might want to move this a little bit that way. Close it this way. Just trying to make sure y'all can see. All right. Let me move this out the way. I was working on some crocheting some shorts earlier. So that's kind of how that happened. And I'll try to speak up as loud as I can. Readjust this yarn because it's acting like it don't want to feed out nicely. That's why I hate when the opening closes down and I move it around too much. Make sure I can see. Okay. No, yeah, I want to turn it. I want to turn it. I tuck that in a little bit. I have like about going to 25. I'm at. I have about 9 more rows to put on here. No, I take that back. I got 10 more rows to put on here because I stopped on the even row. And so far I got 16. So yeah. I was not in the mood to go live last night. I was earlier yesterday, but I got like not in the mood anymore, so that's why I was like, okay. I might need to move a little bit over a little bit closer to y'all because I'll move the camera up a little bit. See if that'll help. Hi, Deb. From Amazon. It's called a KB Afghan Loom. Not really, not to me. Thank you, Deb. Um, I finished one in like 3 weeks, and it depends on what mood I'm in. It typically takes me 6 weeks to make one. I finished one in like 3 weeks because I have ADHD, so I hyperfixated on it. And then I've also finished one in 8 months. So it just depends on what stitches I'm doing and what I got going on, and if I'm sick or something like that. But the one that I finished in 3 weeks, it was like a custom, and the person ordered it like a month before Christmas, I think. And I did it in like 3 weeks because I really, it was a teacher. So I really wanted her to have it. So I went out ahead and did it in like 3 weeks. I'm doing pearl stitches to keep the blanket from curling. So that's what I do on the sides. And then I did that at the beginning as well. I do 7 garter stitches. I don't pearl stitch on the first or last peg. So just in case you guys are wondering. And I have stitch markers right there to indicate where I'll stop and start it, so I don't have to really think about it. And I did like 7 garter stitches at the beginning as well. Yeah, like, so I can't really say because I have ADHD too, and I also have OCD. So my OCD is what takes over with the looming. I crochet as well too. I've been looming longer than I've been crocheting though. I've been crocheting for 4 years. I've been loom knitting for about 11 years. So my OCD is like what kicks in, cause with OCD you tend to do like task over and over and over, and this is really tedious like that. And so stuff, instead of doing over and over and over and not accomplishing something, with this I'm able to like do something over and over and over, but accomplish something, at the end of it. So I'm pretty sure I could make an Iron Man suit. You can pretty much make anything on here. You can make pants and cardigans and hoodies and all that stuff. So you can use tighter stitches and all that. Now you don't. If you skip one stitch, I've skipped one stitch. You can still fix it. It's like if you've ever worked on the knitting machine, you skip one stitch on there, you can still fix it. Now with the knitting needles, because I've worked with the knitting needles as well, I don't know how to fix a skip stitch with the knitting needles, but I can fix a skip stitch on here. It's like working with one of those hand crank knitting machines. You take the crochet hook and you go to that one spot where you missed the stitch at, and you unravel those stitches and work them back up. Because if you stretch it all the way out, it'll be like, shoot, about 8 feet long, 8 to 10 feet long. And so it's for compactness to be able to make like a 5 foot blanket without it stretching all the way over the table. Yeah, it comes with instructions, and there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube as well. And the company does free patterns and all that stuff. So the company will give you like free patterns and stuff. But yeah, the S doesn't affect the shape. It's just for convenience, so that you don't have to work with something so huge. Yeah, the way I'm extending it is by working one side at a time. So when you can do double knit on here by working the pegs like this going across, and so that'll be like 2.5 feet or so, but it'll be more stretchy because it's double knit. But when you work one side, you make it like by 5 feet. I can open it up for you real quick. So I these two pegs. You don't have to skip the pegs, but I skip the pegs because I tend to get a little excited with the wrapping and I accidentally, close it. So I just leave two pegs open to keep me from getting too excited. But this is one end of it, and then this is the other end of it. So it opens, this the back side, and this is the front side of it. And you don't have to just make it 5 feet. I tend to make a lot of baby blankets, but the reason why I'm making this right now, and it's not like anybody wanted it, it was because everybody was like, "Oh, please do like something more." I had did something in some colors in this color, and they were like, "Slytherin, that looks like Slytherin colors." So I was like, "Let me go and make a blanket in Slytherin." And so the next blanket is going to be Ravenclaw because that's what was requested next. And then I'm trying to see if I want to do Gryffindor or Hufflepuff next. But after Ravenclaw, I have to make sure I have all the yarn first before I be committed to stuff. Because I had to go and buy the yarn for yes, definitely keeps from getting bored. Hi, Susan. And I had to go and buy the yarn for Ravenclaw, so I'm like, I don't want to buy any more yarn. So I got to see if I have yarn for Hufflepuff and Gryffindor. I typically buy red though, but I don't know. I think I went through all the red that I did have because I made two blankets last year for my boys for Christmas, and I think I used all my red. Um, I don't. I lost count on how many hours because I've also been crocheting and doing markets, so I've actually not worked on this blanket in like 2 weeks, and I've cut down my hours to work on it too. I usually work on it like 8 hours in a week, and I think that I did that for like um, about a month or two. So maybe that kind of helped you out a little bit. Yeah, this is 4 weight yarn. You can use blanket yarn on here as well. Number 6 blanket yarn. There's also a couple of other looms that you can use that uses thicker yarn, so you don't have to necessarily work on this one. There's another one that has wider space on it, a wider gauge, so you can use up to like a 7 weight yarn, probably even thicker. Or you can double up 4 weight yarn on the wider gauge one. Um, you can follow me. I think at the top, my name may be at the top where you can click on my screen name and follow, and push the little bell for whenever I go live. I try to go live at least once a week, and let's not have like a lot of stuff going on. Like this weekend, I usually go live like every Sunday and Monday from 8 to 10 p.m. Central. But like I've been having like a lot of events going on, and I'm getting ready to go um what's sign up for another one, and so that's been taking up most of my time. So I've only been going live like one day a week. But when the summer hits, I'll be back going like 2 days a week. So I'm planning on going back regular when June gets here after this next event. Then I have to find my other event, cause I know of another one. I wanted to do more what's the word, Comic Con stuff this year. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. If I can find some time to make some swords and stuff like that, that's what I've been really wanting to do. I want to make Thor's hammer. I want to make some swords. I want to make some lightsabers and all that stuff. I got a couple of Star Wars characters, and yeah, so we'll see. Thank you, Deb. I appreciate that. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And if you do get this, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Hi, Angel. Yes, thank you. Yes, I have a channel on how to get started. I just recently updated one of my older videos and did a voiceover and everything for it. It has a minion photo. It shows you how to get started. And then I have a couple of live replays too that'll show you how to get started. The live replays is from like a couple of years back. Thank you, Corey. I think next week what I'm gonna do is start. I'm gonna start a new blanket next week on here with you guys, cause this one, I'm dyslexic too. Let me see. What you mean? Hints on where to find them? Where to find the blanket here on YouTube? Okay, so the you can search KB Afghan Loom for to find stuff on YouTube. You can also find stuff on mine. The tabs at the top have like live. There should be a tab for live, but it's from like several years ago. And I recently posted one for it said it has a minion on the photo. But I'm using this is an old hollowed out clicking office pen. It helps a lot with tension. They do have looming pens available on Amazon, but you can just make one. They usually I they normally take me about 6 weeks, Corey. I crochet as well, but I finished one in 3 weeks, and I've also finished one in like 8 months. So it just depends on how I'm feeling. Hi, Bushra, and it comes with like this little hook thing that I'm using. It's like my favorite one to use. And the only thing that I strongly suggest is that if you do decide to get into it, is to start with variegated yarn first. This is a lot of people feel like this is like a tedious process of making a blanket. So starting with variegated yarn helps out a lot. It tricks the mind because then you're not looking like at a solid color or anything. I also don't like changing colors, whether it's crochet or the loom. So the variegated yarn helps you breeze more through it quicker. And I have stitch markers right here because I'm also trying to keep the edges from curling. So you can use different stitches on here, so you don't it's not just all E-stitch. A lot of people think it's all E-stitch. This is like a garter stitch. It keeps it from curling, and then you just continue the garter stitch on up. I stop mine because the garter stitch takes a long time. So I stop mine in this area and keep E-stitching here and just continue doing the border to keep it from curling, because I I have ADHD. So if it takes a long time to do something, I lose interest very quickly. You can also use number 5 or number 6 yarn on here, but I strongly suggest to avoid number 5 weight yarn because it's like using double number 4 weight. But I use number 4 weight or number 6 blanket yarn. That's what most people do. Number 4 weight or number 6 blanket yarn. But there is a wider gauge blanket loom where you can double up the 4 weight yarn and work up a blanket faster. So there's one that's even wider gauge than this, but they both end up being about 5 feet wide when you get done with the blanket. And if y'all want to see that, I can let y'all see that. Just let me know. I can show y'all the difference between wide gauge and smaller gauge looms. And, you know, thicker yarn, you can work it up faster. Oh, thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. And no problem at all. That's why I like going live to help. So it doesn't bother me. Ask all the questions that y'all would like. But yeah, there's a difference in loom gauges and everything. So um yes, me too, Corey. Me too. I've been crocheting for 4 years. I've been doing this for 11. It took me a long time to learn to crochet though. It took me about 5 years to learn to crochet, but I love it. I love it. Now, this past year, I've started freehanding stuff, so I'm like freaking excited. I'm like, oh, I figured it out. Right now, I'm currently working on some shorts. So this would be like my first legit garment for the most part on my own. I did some research to get started on them, but yeah. So I'm working on some shorts right now, and I'm so freaking stoked. Now I gotta figure out. I gotta find the patience to learn to make clothes on here, which I already know. It's just, you know, it's just finding the patience because I want my stitches to be tighter on here. And I be liking my stitches to be tight with crochet too, but it's easier because I just pick up a hook and, you know. The good thing about this as well is that it goes up to 5 feet wide, so no matter your size, you can make a garment that's pretty big for you without having to make so many panels at a time. I swear, yes, once you get it, it's hard. It is hard to put it down. I'm very addicted to it. Right. I supposed to be finishing up a Mario, but I got sidetracked with other projects. I finished like two zebras. Um, I started a giraffe, and then I did a doll, and then what else did I do? I think that was it. So I need to get back to Mario and be like, okay, you need to like stop getting sidetracked. I finished Mario legs and feet, and then I got sidetracked trying to get ready for that event. That I did two cows. I've been trying to get two cows done. A cow has been on my list for like 2 years now, so I was like, let me go and do a cow. You know, if cows are popular in this area, and I live in the country, so I was like, let me go and do two cows. So I need to get back to Mario. And he was supposed to be done at least a little after the movie came out, but then like I said, I got sidetracked. Exactly. Same here. When I realized that, I was like, oh, that's it. And all you really have to learn is like 3 stitches, and then it's like, it's over with after that. You can learn a lot of different other ones, but all you really need is like three, and then you can just go anywhere with it. Yes, I'm making a 5 feet wide blanket. It might be slightly shorter than that because I'm not using two of the pegs, but for the most part it's 5 feet, very close to 5 feet wide. I'm going up to 7 feet long. I do a lot of tutorials, and I go live doing this all the time. Sometimes I go live crocheting, but most of the time I go live doing this. They have me listed under like educational some I forgot what it's called. Uh oh. No, it'll fit like up to, I think, a queen. They said it fits up to a queen size comfortably, but to me it's more like a full size. But if you make, how people get up to like the king is they make two panels of these and then sew them together to make it even bigger, to make it big enough for a bed. Hi, Bushra. Awesome, Corey. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I try to go as live as much as I can because I just have a lot going on. I got kids and stuff, and then they be in sports, so I'm just waiting I'm really waiting on school to like, end so I can have even more time to myself to go live or, whenever I feel like it without having to worry about, oh, I can't go live that, during such a time because I may have to go to the school for one of my kids or something, or I may, it's just always, you have kids, it's a lot going on. Thank you, Bushra. I'm using Red Heart. You can use pretty much any number 4 weight yarn, or you can use cotton 4 weight yarn if you choose to, and you can do like a number 6 blanket yarn. So either of those will work well on here. You may have to put a little bit more work in with the number 6 weight. You can use number 5 as well, but I try to tell people to avoid that because that's like doubling up number 4 weight yarn. And I think this company is overseas, so they ship overseas as well. Because when I looked up certain, I was looking up certain stuff. I think is it this one or the knitting machine? I can't really remember. Let me be quiet, cause. But they do. I think they ship overseas. I've seen other people overseas with this loom. I'm thinking about the knitting machine. I was trying to make a sock on the knitting machine, and it was in a different. It was almost in a different language. Awesome, Angel. I appreciate that. And I'm always here, like, so if you need any help or assistance with it, I'm always here to help as best as I can. I think this is like, let me check and make sure I'm not going past my rows. I don't use row counters because I have ADHD, so it doesn't really help me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 20. I'm in 22. 22. I got to get to 26. So I got 4 more rows to do. I'm doing like 25. I'm at 26. Um, I don't like counting rows. I'm only counting rows here because of because I'm doing vertical. I'm in horizontal stripes. So what I do is I typically go to like 5 or 7 feet. I use a measuring tape and I just kind of eyeball it. So I'll go up to like a certain length and then I'll take a measuring tape out and be like, let's see how long this is, maybe 3 feet. And then I'll be like, okay, well, I got an idea because I typically have an idea how much yarn it's going to take for before I run out. So I'll be like, okay, so I need probably like, a couple more skeins of this color, that color, because I can kind of eyeball it. So it depends on how long you want it. I guess you would go to maybe about 7 feet. I typically go up to 5. But I just use a measuring tape to measure out so that you know, because I don't like counting. I feel like counting slows me down. And so typically, I know you see me count right now, and that's only because I have like a certain pattern I'm going with. Other than that, I would not count this. Especially if I'm using variegated yarn, I wouldn't count it. I just like to just keep going without having to, I feel like counting slows me down. So I rather just eyeball it and measure it. Now, if I were doing like pants leg or something like that, I would have to make sure that I'm doing those, like, those rows, the row counts right, but other than that, I'm not trying to. Yes, I'm this loom is KB, which is short for knitting board. And yes, you can use number 4 weight or number 6. Most people tend to use number 4 weight or number 6. I would say it's like half and half. The community of loomers with this loom, half will use 4 weight and half will use number 6. So it just depends on who you run across. I have used number 6 one time, and it did make me a little bit addicted to it. But number 6 weight yarn is more expensive than number 4 weight. So that's the only reason that I haven't crossed over to blanket yarn is because it's more expensive. No problem, Kathy. So yeah. So now I'm currently saving up for blanket yarn to do cause I did a baby blanket in number 6 weight yarn, and I'm currently saving up to do one, cause I need at least 12 skeins for a 5 foot wide blanket. So yeah, just imagine. That's like about $20 to $40 more. About I say about $40 more than I would. Wait, let me take that back. That is about. Let me see. At least $40 more of yarn that I would have to spend to make um, a 5 foot wide blanket on here. But I am determined to do one with blanket yarn. I really am. Because I've seen how pretty the baby blanket came out, so I really want to do that. Uh-oh. But most of the time I use Red Heart. I know Red Heart, people tend to be annoyed with Red Heart. But honestly, if you just wash Red Heart and throw a little fabric softener on there for the person who's receiving the blanket, they can do all that, wash it and throw a little fabric softener on there. Because you never know what people are allergic to, so I just rather them wash it if they want it to be softer, and I just give them those instructions when I, you know, mail the blanket. Just give them instructions on how to take care of it. And you can put it in the dryer on tumble dry or like very cool dry on delicate dry or something like that. I wouldn't put it like on high heat or anything, because essentially this is plastic yarn. Acrylic is just plastic yarn, so you want to be very careful when you're trying to dry it. About six skeins of 400 plus yards of yarn. Okay, no problem, Angel. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Thank you, Kathy. But yeah, so if you were using like cotton and stuff like that, of course, you can wash it however you like. But acrylic is pretty much plastic, and so you have to be more careful with it. But some companies do mix it with natural fiber, so maybe you want to do that. I don't know. Uh-oh. I hate when I do that. Trying to get my pen out of there. Like I said earlier, it's more than one stitch. So I'm doing purl stitches. I'm doing a garter stitch border to keep it from curling. I also use a lazy Susan to keep make this more convenient for me. But that's up to you. I got this from Home Depot. So, well, I didn't get it per se. I got the parts from Home Depot, and I just assembled the pieces together. And it didn't cost that much, and it didn't take that long to assemble for what I needed it to work for. So, if you're interested in that, you can, you know, I think it's good for crochet or looming or knitting if you're making like a really big project. Thank you, Kathy. So I don't do too much like flipping the blanket or whatever, or because it gets heavy after a while. So all I really had to do is constantly move the loom back to whichever side that I would like to work on. And even I don't really have to lift the loom. There's two different ways I knit off. So I can leave the loom laying flat and never pick it up well, rarely pick it up to drop the stitches to the back. But the way I like knitting off, I need to pick my loom up. I work faster with the way I knit off. I call it a toss. I toss it over, and most people scoop their. Ooh, let me be careful. Most people scoop their stitches over. I like to bring my. I like to do this. And when y'all see me doing that, that's me getting tension from the other pegs so that I can knit off. Because it's tighter to knit off mid when you're not on the edge of the stitches. I mean, edge of the blanket. It's tighter to like go and decide to start knitting off like right here. It's tighter than starting right here. So I like to borrow yarn from other pegs to loosen it up before I start working on the other border part of the blanket. Because I like to do all my border at one time. So it's just a certain system that I got. You don't have to do it this way. You can decide, oh, I want to do all my E-stitches, then do that, and then you won't have to borrow from other pegs. But I like to do it all in a certain motion so that I'm doing it without thinking. I like repetitive tasks, so. I like to be able to get distracted or whatever I need to do because I have ADHD. So I do my looms a certain way so that I can get distracted just in case I accidentally forget to do something. In about 15 minutes, I should be able to go and change colors, so you guys will see me change colors. And it's really not that difficult. A lot of people think changing colors is difficult. It's really simple, but it's still like it slows me down. It's just annoying. That's why I like using variegated yarn, because I can work through a whole skein of yarn without stopping. And then when I'm ready for my next yarn, work through another whole skein. Here, I'm not working through whole skeins. I'm working through a certain amount of rows, then I'm changing colors. The I bind off starting with the starter peg, but that's up to you. I don't think there's like a certain way that you have to do it. So so my last row, let's say I'm doing my garter stitch, so I will work this way doing my garter stitch, my last garter stitch, and then I'll work it back this way to the starter peg, and then I'll start binding off. I end with like an E-stitch row. Because when I'm doing garter stitches, you're doing purl stitch and E-stitch. So my last row will be a purl stitch, because the purl stitch the E-stitch and then the purl stitch is one garter stitch. So the purl stitch will be my last row, and then I will do another E-stitch row to cast before casting off. Hi Sandy, how you doing? So yeah, so I do like 7 garter stitches, and that's one E-stitch and one purl stitch combination equals one garter stitch. I'm trying to remember where I'm at. Okay, yeah. Hi, Liz. But yeah, so I just I do mine in like a robotic way so that I'm not forgetting stuff while I'm working, so I can continue to talk and get distracted or whatever my brain decides to do while I'm working. Thank you. I'm using Red Heart and number four weight, and I'm using this this is patty green. This is hunter green. That's black. I typically use number four weight yarn, but you can do number six as well. You can do number five too, but I try to tell people avoid number five because it's like doing um, two number fours together is more annoying. So you can the best yarn to use is number four weight or number six blanket yarn, burn that blanket yarn. So that's what I suggest. And I would suggest if it's your first time to use variegated yarn, stay away from solid colors. Stay away from having to change colors would be the best thing for your first blanket. But I typically like using number four weight yarn, and a lot of people don't like that because they like that looks so tedious. But I have OCD, so it works out perfectly for me. For it to, I like tedious stuff. Yeah, the support helps me. Um, I've had some issues with carpal tunnel as well. I have a pinched nerve, arthritis, and some other stuff. So it helps out a lot. Um, but the only thing that I can say is the best thing to do when you're looming is really to only e-stitch if you have a lot of issues, like a lot of physical issues. The best thing to do would be to only e-stitch. But when you're only e-stitching, your blanket tends to curl. So, well, e-stitch and figure eight stitch. I take that back. E-stitch or figure eight stitch. When you do figure eight stitch, the stitches are even looser, but they don't curl. It's figure eight stitch is double knitting, so your project doesn't curl when you finish. But if you're doing only e-stitch, your project will curl. So the best thing to do is to make a tube. You can make this into like a tube by connecting all the pegs and then sewing the tube closed. And if you make two tubes, you can sew those together to make your blanket the way make it 5 feet wide. But if you just do one side at a time, it'll end up being 5 feet wide. But if you're doing each stitch that way, it would curl up. So I typically I just go on through it, but I tend to avoid doing the whole blanket with very detailed stitches because of my health issues. So if I didn't have like arthritis so bad, I would probably go through with doing garter stitches all the way through the blanket. But since I'm not, since I have so many health issues, I rather do e-stitch in the middle because it's gonna work up faster, and then do garter stitches only in the border. To me, it is. I have tight tension though. When I crochet, I typically crochet tight, so it's easier on my hands to me. And knitting, cause I have to hold the knitting needles like this or whatever. It's just to me it is. But other people might tell you differently. But from my personal experience. Awesome. The top stall, the top sail angel. But yeah, cause it yeah, for me that's my experience. I have used the knitting needles, but I also have ADHD. I struggle with the knitting needles with my ADHD. I get sidetracked and drop a lot of stitches, and I tend to have to frog and don't know really how to fix it because I'm not that greatly experienced and versed in knitting, so I tend to have to frog more than it takes for you to really be able to complete a project. So I just tend to do the looms because I can get distracted or whatever, and I know how to fix like drop stitches and stuff. I understand, Liz. I understand. And I can't do it with my hands because my hands shake. So I have overactive wrists, and then it hurts. So that makes my arthritis even worse. I can't do, try to go around and do this because that means now I gotta, work with my fingers doing that. It really is. To me, it is. Hi, Molly. Yes, me, same. The top said same. I don't know how to fix my mistakes, and then I be so mad. I be like, just frog it, just frog it. I just frog everything by the time I get done. So it's annoying. I swear. That's about the only thing I can do is hats and scarves on the knitting needles. I cannot do blankets with crocheting because the counting. I can't stand counting, y'all. I just really started inching my way up to 20, and then I start back over. I count all the way up to 20, then I say 1, 2, and start. At first I was doing fives. I could comfortably be okay with 5. Now I'm trying to be comfortable with counting up to 20. I don't think I'm gonna go any further than that. That's about it. Hi, Stony. No, I haven't used this. I haven't tried straws yet because I really like the pen. The only reason why I prefer the pen is because I can take the tip off of it and go up to. I feel like the pen is more adjustable. If I take the tip off of, I've used like a number 7 weight yarn on it, and I like the way the pen has like this, the pointy end, so I can go in between the pegs quicker. So I got a preference with that pen. To me, I think so. I think it gets easier, Liz, the more you practice with it. But yeah, so the knitting loom it's easier because I've been doing it for a long time. But them knitting needles, I can fix it. I don't know what it is about the knitting needles. I can't fix it. But yeah, I have a preference with the pen. Cause let me take the tip off of it. I went up to like a number 7, taking the tip off of it. So I have an obsession with these, and I tend to lose them. I have like 6 or 7 of them. I've used a plastic straw before, but I've only used it with my wider gauge loom. No problem, Liz. I've only used it with my wider gauge loom. And when I take the tip off of this one, I have wider gauge looms that I use it on too. And I don't even know what I did with that straw. It came with the wide gauge loom. They normally don't come with a wrapping tool, but that one did. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, Yep, it's just a regular pen. Regular office pen. I need to be keeping up with these rows while I'm just working and okay. We gonna say this next row is my last row since I just started going. I think it's my last row anyway. Um, I'm not sure, Liz. I'm not sure the measurement between the pegs because I've looked it up before, but I keep forgetting. I know it's I know the little baby loom is like 7. Let me see. Let me make sure before I say it. I think that one is 7. Hold on, y'all, just a second. It might be 7, 8. I don't remember. This one is 3/8. But these are like slightly wider than this. So I don't know. Is it slightly wider? It's just like a tinge slightly. I don't know. I don't know. I have I have the green one from Michaels. That's twice. Let me get my green one real quick. This is the one I keep saying I got a wider gauge one. I keep over and over I got a wider gauge one. So I got this one from Michaels. So this one where I would double up number 4-way yarn or a blanket yarn or go. I went up to like a number 7. But the more I've been watching videos, I think I would go up a little bit thicker than that. So we'll see. I've been debating on using thicker yarn on it because I'm like, I can't really say I've lost count because I tend to stop working on it. I work on it like 8 hours a week when I do have time. This is like my first week back doing it. I think I haven't worked on it in like 2 weeks. And I would say maybe 40 hours or so far. I can't really remember. It takes me about 7 minutes to do a row. 5 minutes to do an east stitch row, and about 6 minutes to do an east stitch row, and about 7 to do a garter stitch mix row, a row with purl stitches. So yeah, definitely, yes. But bulky looms, yes, I love using them because they work. It takes me a month. Now I've made a 5 foot by 7 on a bulky loom, and it took me a month. This one takes me 6 weeks typically, but I made 5 foot by 5 foot. When I make the bulky ones, 5 foot by 7, it took me at least a month. Thank you, Top Sale. Yes, you can use. Yep, number. You can use three strands. Definitely. No problem, Liz. But yeah, that one I'm thinking about. Um, I'm trying to figure out how I can go even thicker because I know I've used the number 7 And I've been looking at other looms, and when I put number 6 on that wider gauge loom, um, it still has more space, and I want it to be a little bit tighter. So I'm thinking about using thicker yarn to work on there. I to keep I use garter stitches on the border, and I know is two is one stitch, and I slip the stitches only on one row. So when I slip the stitches, the slip stitch stretches a little bit longer. So that's 2 rows. So when I count however many slip stitches I have over down here, I multiply times 2. And that's how I keep up with how many rows that I got going. I'm sorry, MB artist. I'm sorry. I swear. But like when I first got it, it took me a minute. It took me a minute to work on it. I was so intimidated. I looked at all them pegs and I was like, what did I do? So it took me 2 weeks to even touch it. I was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. But I'm gonna strongly recommend that if you're going to start a blanket on here, use variegated yarn. Use variegated yarn first. Because if you don't, it's gonna feel very tedious. So, cause even experienced as I am, I don't like changing colors. Like, cause I always have to stop and count and make sure all my rows are the same. So I just strongly suggest that you use variegated yarn. That way you can continuously go without thinking about having to change colors, and try to do something exciting on it, because the yarn would do it itself. So just try to use variegated yarn, because it's going to change it's going to change without you having to change. And even if it changes in weird spots, you're not going to notice because the stitches are so small. Now, when you use variegated yarn, number 6 weight yarn, you may notice it a little bit more, but I swear, like, it's barely noticeable when it changes colors in weird spots. Like on here, I try to change all my colors at the end of the rows. This is gonna be my last row of this color. Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. I just found me a new craft project, y'all, and I don't even want to talk about it because I said I don't need no more projects. I just recently saw someone doing punch needle and turning the punch needle project into a plushie. I was like, God darn it. I don't need nothing else in my life right now in the craft area. Like I didn't overcraft myself. And it was so cute. It was a cow. And it was perfect. And that's all I kept coming. I don't need another project. I don't need another project. I shared it everywhere and said, I don't need another project. I don't need another project, but I want this project. I really want to work on this project. And I have punch needle stuff. So it's not like I can't like sit down today and be like, oh, I want to do the punch needle cow today. And I have just enough fabric to play around with. So I don't have a whole lot of fabric. So that's why I was like, well, I don't have the fabric for this. But I have just enough to play around with. And I know. No. Oh, no problem, MB artist. I keep telling myself no, but I think it's gonna happen. And then I followed her too. That's where the problem came in. I followed her, so that means I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go on her page And I'm gonna look at it. Wait, I'm gonna look at all the tutorials. I'm gonna watch them all tonight. Yes, moo it. I need to moo it. I'm so excited. I'm excited about it, and I haven't even started it. I swear, multiple projects going. Like this one, I've been on this project for a good hot minute. I don't even want to talk about it. And I have a Jabba the Hunt. I think that's what it is. I also have uh, a giraffe going on. I also have some shorts that I'm currently making that I really need to get done soon. I have some earrings. I have a little bumblebee that I need to be finishing up. And I need to be getting ready for this next craft event I have going. It's a 3-day event, so it's gonna be really big. So I need to like have all my stuff. I need to have a lot of stuff ready for that event. And I need to make some more burgers. I'm gonna make burgers and fries. I have some little and then I wanna decorate because I also have a wood burning kit. No problem, Jennifer. I try to be. I also have wood burning kit, y'all, and I have like these little wooden trays I got from Dollar Tree like a couple years ago. I want to burn designs into them, create French fries, crochet French fries, and burgers, and make it like a meal. Now I don't know if I want to do fries or not. I mean not fries, drinks. But I'm really excited. So I swear it help. Yes, this lazy Susan helps out a lot. I rarely have to pick this loom up if I don't need to or if I don't want to. But it's a certain way I like knitting off. So that's the reason why I always lift it up to knit off. But most loomers do like the scoop knit off. And so you don't have to like lift the loom up. But I like to knit off. I call it like tossing the stitch to the back. And so I like to do it that way. So I have to hold my loom up to do it. But as far as adjusting the blanket that much, I don't have to do all that stuff anymore. Yeah, those too. I didn't even think about the cheese curls. I like doing curled up crochet too. Yes, yes, definitely. It worked. Like I've had this table. I spent $60 on this thing, and I made it myself, and it took me like 30 minutes to make, and I've had it for at least 3 years, so I haven't had to buy a new one or anything. Now my boards are starting to come loose, so I might need to like go back and like go through these cracks or whatever that's starting to act a little funny here. But as far as that and nothing else, I haven't had any other issues besides this going on up in here. Which probably I just probably need to take like something like a what's that mold stuff and go through the crack and kind of seal that in so it'll stop doing that. Yeah, that used to be my problem too. It was so awkward because then you when you turn it, it steady like just rolling up, and then you have to constantly straighten it back out to get it to work right. But yeah, and then I bought this wood before wood went up. It was like 1 year I was getting ready to buy my shed. I'm also in my she shed, and wood was getting ready to go up like within the couple of months. So this was around the time I bought a lot of woods. Well, I bought several wood things before the prices of wood went up. And you don't have to have one this size either. Yeah, I do. I do. I don't most of the stuff that I just make, like just I'm just making for content. I don't sell it as much as a custom because it's just I don't know if it's gonna sell anywhere. I'm just making stuff like this. I'm just making it. That and I typically do have a hard time selling stuff. But if it's a custom, I'm gonna charge like my time and stuff or whatever. But if it's stuff that I'm just making for my YouTube channel, I don't charge that much because I'm like I was just doing this in my free time, and I really just want to mostly get the yarn prices back and a little bit extra too. Cause what I'm about to do, if I sell it, I'm about to go buy some more yarn. Yes, very much there. I'm about to go buy some more yarn. That's what I do. I sell the stuff and I go buy yarn. So, yes. Okay, cool. To paint your cabinet doors. But yeah, I just every time I go to an event, I sell stuff and then I go spend a part of my money and go buy more yarn. So it's just going right back into yarn. It keeps me making stuff on my YouTube channel. Now I'm trying to get all my socials up to 50K so I can try and do a giveaway because I don't want to just keep collecting stuff in my shed either. So it does take me a minute to get rid of stuff. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. Sandy. Oh, no problem, Top Sale. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for coming in and hanging out with me and interacting with me. I hope you have a good rest of your day. But yes, y'all. I got about 15 minutes left. You have a blessed day too. I got about 15 minutes left, and then I gotta go get ready to go get my children from school. Okay, NB artist, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me as well. I hope you have a good rest of your day too. I gotta remember. Let me go and cut this yarn, cause what I will do is once I make it to the end of this row, I keep going, and I really think I went over. But we just, it's neither here nor there about that, cause I really honestly think I went over, and I don't know what my scissors said. And so what I'll do, oh, there they are. Let me go and cut this, cause I'm hard headed. I am hard headed. I think I went over, and I'm just gonna live my life. It just is what it is. I bet when I counted it's like 28. Cause I know I supposed to stop it like 15 minutes ago. I should have stopped. I should have stopped rapping. But I was talking. So I already know how that happened. No, I'm not gonna fix it. I know it's probably like one or two rows over. I'm like, I can live with that. I'm not like especially since I didn't mess up nothing. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna fix that. I'm just up here making stuff. Nobody asked for it, so if they, they get it, they see one. It at most it's like a half an inch um wider than another row. They shouldn't notice that if they want it. I'm doing like 26, um, 26 in this color. Now those thinner colors I would notice. I'm doing 10 in the darker green, and then is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 10. And then 15 and 16 in black. The reason why I keep changing numbers because I was going to do it like that, but then I don't like changing colors on odd rows. Okay, Kathy, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your day too. I'm gonna count it real quick, y'all. I'm just curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh no, it's right. It's right. It's 26. It's right. So I'll be fine. Hi, Jane. You create masks? Cool. It's right. I, I, I thought it was wrong because I was talking a lot. And usually feel like stuff be happening so fast in the middle of me talking, then I'd be like, wait a minute, it feels like I've been going way too long than I was supposed to be going. But I think talking kind of slowed me down, so that's probably what happened. All right, we about to change colors. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Something is grabbing yarn over here. I need to do this one more wrap. Okay, put that down in there. And I need, what did I do with my bag of yarn? No, my box of yarn. My yarn I just ordered. Did I put the right color on top? No, I did not. I just ordered a thing of yarn. Yay. For a red heart hanging that string out of there. So I didn't have to dig for it. And then they put it in night. Yay. Yes, a color change. No, I think that was accidentally in the night, but that'll work. That's fine. And put it under there. All right. So let me get my tapestry needle. I'm just glad I didn't have yarn bar. Tapestry needle, pen. And it's going to go right down through there. And I've done this on multiple pens, so it's not just unique to this pen. I've done it on another Click and Office pen, and it went right through. And this is like kind of a thick needle, because I didn't even struggle threading it through. So you can use thick needles to thread it and get it through there. So all you want to do is create your slip knot. I'm gonna leave enough tail so I can thread the yarn back through. And this is the side where I cut the yarn. So I'm just going to put it over here. This is, I try to make sure I put the tail on the outside. And that's it. Slip knot. That's it. That's your color change. It's just that simple. I don't know why it was getting stuck like that. And just start back wrapping like you never, like you never cut the yarn. And then once you knit off, that's going to be your color change. Now the first thing I'm going to do when I get in the house is go eat something. I got hungry. Uh-oh. I almost jumped off the pig. I just realized. Yep, no, right. No major surgery. That is it. I just realized I ain't been on here. Let me look. I'm looking at my time that my thing said. Started streaming 90 minutes ago. I haven't been on here 2 hours, so I'm going to go a little bit longer. I know I need to get. I'll be off here for 15 months. I just want y'all to see the color change more smoothly, and then I'll be done. Cause I know I gotta go get my kids at 2:30 my time. Uh, it don't take much to block people. It don't take much to block people. You can go away. You can go away. And now I don't have to explain the contraption. And so all you have to do is say, what was this contraption? I didn't mind. But since you gotta come in here with a problem, then you can just go away and not get your answer and not find your answer somewhere else. I need to go back and fix my moderators though. Let me see if I can go. in my husband's other account. No, that ain't the one I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm using an old clicking office pen. An old hollowed out clicking office pen. Then y'all not gonna really see much of it, like the color change, because the yarns are so dark. Exactly. Exactly. No, no good manners. And I normally don't even stand up till I go through all that, but I will for that. It don't bother me. Thank you, Linda. And no problem at all. Oh, no problem at all. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. I'm using a this is a KB Afghan loom. It's a form of knitting. I'm making a blanket, but you can do a lot of different things on here. Most people use it to make blankets. You can make pants, scarves. I've made a beanie on here before, and I've made scarves. You can make tube socks, uh, cows. You can make cardigans, sweaters, dresses, all that type of stuff. And since it goes up to 5 feet, you can pretty much make any size. You just have to, make panels and stuff and sew them together. I haven't really branched out much because I'm, I don't really like change. So, but I said I was gonna do it last year. But the more I'm keep talking myself into, cause it just require I have to make more different stitches. I don't really like doing very detailed work. So that's what really my problem is. It's like you can do more than, just one stitch, and I don't like doing a lot of different stitches. So, you can double knit on here, but I'm doing single knit. When you open it up, you leave a couple of pegs. When you can turn it into a tube by continuously going around the whole edge or you can leave pegs or a space open for it to open up like a blanket, or you can double knit the pegs to do like double knit. So when you do double knit, it doesn't curl your blanket. I've never done double knit. Most people, because there's a certain way you have to do double knit, so I avoid the double knit too. Awesome. Okay, Rich. Sometimes I do sometimes get lost, because it's, no matter which way you turn it this way, you turn it the other way, they tend to look the same. But I do have I got my stitch markers down here to, this is where I start and stop at, so that I don't get lost. Awesome, Liam. Like I always say, if you invest in it, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. The only thing that I strongly suggest is using variegated yarn when you start. It helps out a lot, because a lot of people feel like it's very tedious when they use solid colors. With solid colors, you got to constantly stop and change the colors, and I don't like changing colors, whether it's crochet or the loom. So I don't like stopping to change colors. So it's best to start with variegated yarn if you're gonna use it, and you can use number 4 weight or number 6 weight yarn. And I'm using a pen to wrap the pegs. And most of the time I use number 4 weight yarn to work on this loom with. I've used number 6 weight once, and I've used number 5, but I didn't like using number 5. It's a Lazy Susan. I went about bought all the pieces from Home Depot. And it took me about no more than 30 minutes to make. I didn't do like all the special stuff to do it. I just wanted it to rotate. That's it. So I just bought the Lazy Susan piece, some 1/2 inch screws, and the 1 inch thick round wood. And then, tried to put the Lazy Susan piece in the middle. But yeah, it didn't take much. I've had it for like 3 years, and it didn't cost me that much. It cost no more than $60 at the time. It's been really convenient and helpful. I don't have to lift up the loom if I don't want to, or constantly readjust the blanket, because when you turn it with the loom, it twists and all that stuff. The blanket twists. I don't have to untwist the blanket and all that stuff. Thank you, Linda. So yeah, I didn't go through all that special stuff of what it takes to make a actual Lazy Susan. I just wanted it to do what I needed it to do, and so far it's been holding up. Those were purl stitches. So you can only use the pen for E-stitches and double knit. When you're doing other stitches, you have to use your hands. So I was doing purl stitches. The purl stitches is what I use on the border part. It's really a garter stitch. The E-stitch and the purl stitch create the one garter stitch, and so I do that on the border to keep it from curling. And I never pearl stitch on the first or last peg, just in case someone says you skipped a peg. I typically get that comment too. You skipped a peg. No, I don't do it on the first or last peg. I slip stitch on those. Yes, you can definitely make a jacket. Any size that you want, you can definitely make a jacket. You can make like even up to like a, I don't know how wide a 3X or anything like that is, but this loom goes up to 5 feet wide. So if you decided to like make a friend something, or a 3X or something like that, you could do it easily. Yeah, it's solid. It goes up to 5 feet wide. I just have it separated here to like keep me from connecting the borders, but it's solid. I'm making a 5 feet wide blanket. The thing with the so it depends on how you want your stitches to turn. That's the reason why I said that. So when you do it this way, if you're doing all your if you're doing all if you want like your stitches, like let's say your sleeve, you want your sleeve stitches to go, go vertically. So you would have to, you can't put your you can't do your sleeves all at once, because if you do your sleeves connected all at once, you'll have your sleeves would be turned, the stitch will be turned sideways. It'll be turned horizontally instead of vertical. So it just depends on how you want it. So if you want your stitches to be going like this way, you can't do them all at one time. But if you don't mind it going this way, you can do them all at one time. It'll just be like your hoodie stitches will be going like this way, and your sleeve stitches will be going this way across your arm like this. I hope I explained that correctly. That's why I say you have to make it in panels. So it just depends on what look you're going for. But if you want all your stitches to be turned a certain way, you'll have to do it in panels. I got these from Amazon. They're called Neo G. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Sandy. I got you. I understood, Linda. I understood. I'm dyslexic, so I don't even worry about all that stuff. I just read, and I try to understand the best way I can. I try not to go into technicalities, because I struggle with with letters and stuff like that. So I don't worry about all that stuff. Look, I get enough of that online. People coming for me. Oh, you spelled blah blah incorrectly. You know, and it was mostly autocorrect or something like that. I accidentally put my finger on the letter, and I read the titles like 5 times before I post them. But my dyslexia reads it like it's the correct way some of the time. So that's why. That's why I was like, I don't go into all that technicality. Yeah. And like that's the crazy thing about it. Like I read the title before I post it like 5 times, but my brain is still reading it as if I wrote it the correct way. So then by the time I post it, there's nothing I can do about the video now. After you know, after a day, I'm like, well, I got the views now. I don't want to like get rid of my views, so it just gonna have to stay. I can't do nothing about that. Your video watching did. They're called Neog, Neog. I swear. I swear they do. I really be trying to catch it because I know that I struggle, so I try to catch it, but you just, when you can't do nothing about it, you just can't do nothing about it. So I've just learned to live with it. I feel like I even talk dyslexic too, because my mind would be saying one thing, but my mouth says something different, but it's a very similar word, you know so I could be thinking bird and say herd. So so sometimes, yes, I have to. I do my thing. I work my blanket in certain ways so that I can kind of work it. I have ADHD, so I have to do it where when I talk a lot and get distracted, I'm kind of doing it like mechanically or robotically without thinking about it. So that if I mess up, my mind is like just going on autopilot. Right, what you said, top sale. So yeah, so I do my rows a certain way so that I'm kind of like on autopilot when I get when my ADHD starts to act up and I'm just like exactly. They know what you mean. I be telling my kids that too. You know what I mean. Hmm. Then like some will be on the tip of my tongue if I have to say something important. It's like there on the tip of my tongue, but I can't say it. So then I have to explain it all the way out. Like I can be thinking of red heart. Say red heart all day long. But when it's important for me to say it, I lose it. And then I'm like, the yarn that everybody uses that everybody complains about. That yarn. Everybody complains about that it feels rough. So, it be stuff like that. I just was like, God. So yeah. Trust me, I promise I get it. But that's simplified, of course. That's a simplified way of explaining it. So when I have to say important big words, I go blank and I'm like, that thing where you gotta do all this and yeah, I swear. Yeah, I have to. Cause I get distracted so much, and my mind is constantly going like. about old stuff, about new stuff, about stuff I could be doing. I'm getting ideas, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be pretty awesome. So I have to be on autopilot. Sometimes I'll be like, wait, what did I just do? But I beat and did it right because I'm just on autopilot. I'm like, it don't even feel like it happened. So then I had to go back and check myself. I was like, wait a minute. And normally I wrap with the side that I'm gonna start on. I wrap it with it facing towards me too, and so I only knit off when this is on this side. So if I'm knitting off on this side, I would have it flipped the other way. But yeah, so it's just a certain way that I try to do everything. Especially when doing something repetitive. It helps. No, it wouldn't mess me up because I already didn't wrap my second row, so I don't mind. Let me just I'm gonna turn it on the right side first. Hopefully y'all can see at least most of it. I bring it up like this and then I stretch it out some. And then this is the back side of it. This is like where the middle part meets up. Thank you, Sandy. And I'm only changing colors on one side because I only change colors on my odd rows. So if it's an odd number row, that's why I'm changing colors. I'm not changing colors on my even rows. Yeah, my husband to learn to he just be like, okay, he actually be saying, is you knitting or you crocheting right now? I swear, drives me nuts. Cause I have to tell him, he'll be like, y'all, you knitting right now, I need to be quiet. Now I'm like, no, I'm not knitting, I'm crocheting, I'm counting. So when I'm crocheting, he really can't talk. I had to finish talking then. I mean, I had to finish counting, then I talk really fast. Then I was like, I'm not knitting, I'm crocheting. Right, exactly, Top said. Yes, you are. You are among friends here. But yeah, I be like, I talk real fast. I'm not knitting, I'm crocheting. I'm in the middle of camp. Then those be the times he be ready to make all these weird jokes and stuff. We're a weird joke family. We like to be random. And I'm like, dude, can you not be random right now, like in the middle of the crochet happening? I swear, Linda, I swear. And I'm always Googling. Before I type something, I'm like, wait a minute. It looks like it's spelled right, but it looks weird. Let me go and Google and make sure I'm spelling this right. So I stay on Google, Googling words to make sure I'm spelling it right. I don't even trust autocorrect, so because my sometimes autocorrect will autocorrect you and then they put a different word that you didn't mean. So I don't even trust autocorrect either. I swear. Like you knew that wasn't the word I was trying to say. Are you reading this sentence? Right. Now the kids be all these short letters stuff, and I just be like, wait. I don't even ask them no more. I don't even say what are those three letters. I just go on Google. What's the slang? What's the slang word for these three letters? My son just typed me. I don't even ask people no more. I just go and start Google stuff. What's the urban word for this? What are they saying? What could they possibly be saying? Yes, it does. It needs autocorrect. Yeah, so I just Google everything. I just be like, forget it, forget it. This my last row, y'all. Then I have to go get my kids. I have to go get those children. I have to go get one of them is my taxi driver. I have to go get my taxi driver and my other child. He gets so sick of me. I be like, you driving today? As soon as I go get him, I be hopping out the front seat. You ready to drive? I want him to understand how that feel. Thank you, Misty. Hi, I hope you're having an awesome day. I want them to see how it feels to be a taxi. Right. One day he wasn't even saying nothing, and I was making jokes. I was like, he must be in a bad mood because I just hopped out the I mean, out the driver's seat and hopped into the passenger seat. I said, "You okay, son?" Love you too. So yeah, but he already knew it. I warned him though. I said, as soon as you start driving, just wait. But he still ain't learned how not to run me raggedy though. Oops. I tried to do them at 12 p.m. I didn't post today. I supposed to post today. I just do a mixture of videos, to be honest. I was supposed to be posting my yarn haul today at 12, but I decided to go and come on live because I didn't go last night. But it's usually between 12 and 8. Most of the time it's 12. I think 12 is typically a good time. But if I'm having like a really busy day, it can be between if I don't post it at 12, it's from 4 to 8. So um I think it's like 3 pegs equal 1 inch. So I go since it's 198 pegs. I take 5 feet and divide it uh, um by I take 198 divided by 5 feet, and then however many feet I wanted to go up to. Like if I wanted to go up to like 3 feet, I take those. I think I take. It's weird. I have to think. I have to go back and think about it, Miss D. Uh, Ask me that question because I'm getting ready to get off. Ask me that question in the community tab, and I got you. I have to think about it. Exactly. Yes, they will. Yeah, the kids will run you ragged. But yeah, ask me that question in the community. I have to go back and think about how I do it, and that sounds like one of my kids calling me now, y'all. Hold on. I might have to get off now. That's my husband calling me. I'm gonna call him back in just a second. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go and get off. I hope y'all have an awesome rest of your day. Cause I'm gonna have to answer this phone call because I don't even know why he calling me at 12:30, and he's calling me back to back to back. So y'all have a good one.